Hello, this is Harry. In this video, let's watch a movie starring Charlize Theron. The science fiction movie Æon Flux. A plague caused by a virus in the 21st century wiped out 99% of the world's population. The scientist, Trevor, came out with a cure that saved 5 million people and established the last city on Earth, Bregna. The Goodchild dynasty headed by Trevor built a wall to protect the city. He also built Relico as a memorial to remind people how they survived. Some people said that Bregna was a perfect society, where human civilization had developed to the extreme. After 400 years of the Goodchild dynasty, the time passed to 2415. The problems in the city were increasingly highlighting the disappearance of people, but the government ignored these crimes. So the rebels who called themselves the Monicans launched a rebel against the Goodchild regime. Æon was the top killer in this organization. Each member of the Monicans had a pill in their bodies. With this pill, they could communicate with each other through telepathy. Æon's mission was to disrupt the government's central surveillance system. Æon put on a conspicuous white uniform at night. She killed the guards and used ropes to enter the center of the surveillance system. Then she put the destruction device into the system. Æon's sister Una was preparing dinner at home. At this moment, the doorbell rang and she was shot as soon as she opened the door. Æon saw her sister's body carried out on the way home. It turned out that Una was killed by the government for being mistaken as Monican. The pain of losing her sister strengthened Æon's determination to destroy the government. One day, she finally received the task to assassinate Trevor. According to information, Trevor was preparing a speech to the Senate. To reach the seat in the event, she must pass through the garden at the border. After passing through the garden, she quickly heads straight to the enemy base camp. The secret government was built like a mysterious bureau. The prophet implanted the secret passage in Æon's body to guide the way. On the mission with Æon was Sathandra. Maybe she couldn't afford shoes, so she modified her feet into her hands. After the two converged, they head towards the government. They were attacked by hidden weapons as soon as they entered the border. Fortunately, the two were agile enough. Unexpectedly, Sathandra jumped onto a lawn. She saw many dazzling blades in the grass instantly. Sathandra's hands that could not dodge the lower limbs were injured. Æon almost touched the lawn, but fortunately, Sathandra pulled her back in time. Æon entered the center of the government after evading the institutions. She found Trevor in the forum who was preparing for the speech. But when their eyes met, in Æon's mind, suddenly a picture of her and Trevor falling in love appeared. When she was distracted, she was knocked out from behind and put into prison. Æon turned on the demon eye to see through the water that was sent into her. She took out a small bottle from the heel and collected some samples. Then she made a call, and the bomb balls sprinkled on the road in advance gathered to the prison. The balls gathered on a wall and blasted the prison to help Æon escape. Trevor's brother, Æon, was disappointed to learn that his brother was not killed. It turned out that he deliberately leaked Trevor's itinerary, wanting to use the Monicans to get rid of Trevor and let him take over the position of chairman. Æon was surprised when he saw Æon's face in the surveillance system. Æon was angry when she found out that her brother-in-law was still working for Trevor in a laboratory. Her brother-in-law said that things were not as simple as Æon thought. The whole city was not quite right. Everyone could recall things that never happened to them. Trevor destroyed the virus while inventing other risks. It was just that people would have this symptom, and Trevor was trying to cure them. Æon calmed down and showed the collected water samples to her brother-in-law. This was not a poison, but a message, but you must drink it to know the content. After Æon drank it, Trevor could communicate with her. Trevor said it was not safe to speak in public. Then Æon found Trevor's place by feeling. Trevor seemed to have been waiting for her. This time Æon failed to control herself. Because as long as she was with Trevor, there would be a passionate emotion that would occupy all her hatred. Without a trace of foreplay, the sword had drawn, they jumped right into the action. Until Æon woke up and turned over to kill Trevor, an inner voice once again made her stop. When she got dressed and ready to leave, she accidentally touched the mechanism and came to Trevor's library. At this moment, Trevor's female bodyguard suddenly rushed in and got into a fight with her. Æon took advantage of the machine door and escaped dangerously. The doctor checked Trevor and he was fine. But everything he and Æon had done together was monitored. Æon and the senator agreed that Trevor must be removed from the government. Soon Æon was promoted to chairmanship, a coup kicked off. Æon's affection made Sathandra very puzzled. She hoped Æon could continue to complete her mission. But at this time, Æon hoped to find out the truth. After talking, the two fought. Æon beat Sathandra with her skills. Then Æon jumped from a height and grabbed the floating sheets and climbed onto the Relico to find the answer. Under the guidance of a bald old man, Æon saw that her sister Una's genes had been redistributed. They were to be reincarnated as a human. Sathandra activated telepathy and reported Æon's betrayal to the organization. The organization immediately issued the task of killing Æon to the people lurking in many places. Æon came to an ordinary house based on the address. She discovered that a baby had been cloned using Una's genes. Trevor arrived and told Æon the truth. It turned out that Trevor cloned everyone in the city. Because he had complications in treating the plague, the vaccine destroyed people's fertility. In order to allow humans to continue to reproduce, Trevor successfully applied cloning technology to humans. Now when a person died, their DNA was reused. The aerial ruins they built were used to store DNA and keep the cloning procedure secret. The custodian had found suitable couples and used food that stored medicine to make the body receive the medicine. When the woman came for a physical examination, they implanted the cloned embryo. Since then, everything became natural. The citizens who died after 9 months were reborn. They had reproduced for 7 generations so far. Oren and he also cloned themselves. In other words, the two had been brothers for 400 years. Trevor was trying to solve infertility. Una was a member of his experimental group. But Trevor just learned that Oren killed all subjects. Trevor's trial was successful because of Una's successful natural pregnancy. And Oren didn't want the test to succeed. He wanted to maintain the status quo and live forever. While talking, the killers sent by Oren came here too. Æon and Trevor escaped and fled all the way to the subway. But the subway was interrupted by force. They had to dig out of the subway to find another place to hide. After taking a break, Trevor wanted to return to the laboratory to take the research data. But he was a step too late. Oren had already given up the laboratory. The female bodyguard was also killed at the scene. Trevor wanted Æon to leave the city with him. Going outside the fence might be a way to survive. But Æon wanted to destroy the relico before leaving. Trevor disagreed with Æon, because so far, cloning technology was the only way to keep humans existing. Æon thought that the clones would make the situation worse. And everyone was doomed to die. Only in this way could life have meaning. Living in such chaos was actually a type of suffering. Before Æon could kill Oren, he led people to surround them. At the same time, the members of the Monicans based on the pills in Æon's body also tracked down and lay in ambush on the Iron Tower. Oren told Trevor that people's infertility had spontaneously cured. But he selfishly prevented all this and killed all the women who were naturally pregnant. This was why there were often missing persons in the city. Æon found Sathandra on the tower and activated the pill to tell her that she and Trevor were resolving the pain people were experiencing now. She hoped Sathandra could help her. Sathandra was moved by Æon's sincerity and shot Oren. She changed the order without authorization to cover Æon and Trevor. Undercover, Æon strafed and killed them. Struggling, Oren picked up the grenade gun and hit Sathandra. Trevor stopped him in time when he rushed over to shoot Æon. At the critical moment, Æon shot Oren and saved Trevor. Anyway, Trevor was still very sad when his 400-year-old brother died. Then Æon took the bomb to the relico. Æon just remembered that he was the old bald man who saved her. Oren had asked to destroy her body and DNA, but the old man recognized Æon as Trevor's wife. He stored her DNA in a dormant state. She was reborn until now. Because only Æon could change Trevor. The old man also agreed with Æon for destroying the relico. Because he had lived for 400 years, he was so tired. With a burst of the explosion, the relico damaged and knocked open the city wall. And beyond the wall was already a new world full of life. People can finally live their lives forever. They can live full of hope even though they only have one life. Well, this video ends here. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, see you next time.